Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddart. I have a very special treat for you today, a gentleman that has founded a household name as the CEO and founder of BombBomb. I'm going to fully introduce him here in just a minute. But before I go there, let me remind you that inside of the Facebook group, Scaling Your Referral Business, I'm going deeper on helping you to not just have a great referral business, but also a great life outside of business, which oftentimes can be challenging for agents. So be sure and join us again inside of the Scaling Your Referral Business on Facebook. I'm excited again to introduce Darin Dawson. He's the CEO and founder of BombBomb. Darin, such a pleasure to have you back on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Justin, I was excited to do this again. It's always a fun time with you, and then happy to be here. Thank you.
No, I feel the same way. Our conversation last time, as we were discussing, was kind of right in the midst of the initial stay-at-home orders, right? And your platform, BombBomb, was obviously becoming more relevant as people weren't seeing each other face to face as often as they were before. And we can all get very accustomed to sending emails, and it takes the humanity out of stuff when we don't actually put a face and a voice with it. So I love what you've done. I'm excited to get into this topic today of teaching real estate industry professionals specifically the importance of building a human-centered business.
That's right. It's awesome.
Yeah. Tell me, Darin, before we delve too much into some of what you have to share today, and maybe how people can maybe get their hands on this new book that that your company's released, and or this the tool, and really maximize even secret tips and tricks that people are doing to maximize the value of of the BombBomb platform. Is there anything that you'd like to share just around that topic of a human-centered business you think would be interesting for everybody to know?
Yeah, as we've been getting into this, so our last book was Rehumanize Your Business. I have the Rehumanize shirt on if you're watching this, and this is the evolution or culmination around that. So Rehumanize Your Business was really tactical around video, using video, how to use video, when to use video. And in this new book, so I got it right here, Human-Centered Communication. This is about what to say, when to say it, why to say that way, and why to be human in your communication. Now, it's more than video, right? I mean, video is obviously a core component of that, and especially when we deliver it through BombBomb. But gosh, man, so even since we last talked, I think the pandemic did a couple of things. Yes, it did get people to do more with video, but it also increased what I call digital pollution. So now it escalated this, let's just throw everything at it. Let's increase the volume of email. Let's increase the volume of unsolicited text, unsolicited phone calls. And what I believe that did is it made people even less trustworthy of this type of communication, right? So whether it be chat, whatever it is, it's just like the automation of those things. There's an opportunity in that, but I want to first talk about what the disadvantage of that condition is right now. Okay. So right now, let me tell you this, let me ask you this. If you were to get an email and it even said, we know each other, but let's just say we didn't, and said, Darin Dawson, I want to talk to you about this great thing. Do you believe anymore that it's from me? If you don't know me, do you believe actually it came from the person who it said it came from?
Yeah, there's definitely a question that goes through my mind is who's the actual sender, right? Who is this thing,
literally
or like you're saying?
Are they using some sort of scaling machine learning thing to do this, right? And so I believe that it used to be, even let's just say 3 years ago, when I sent an email, and if you didn't know me, even if you were not interested, at least I know I did this, and maybe some of your listeners would too. If I received an email from someone, I did not know them, they're asking for my time to discuss something, their business, whatever it might be. Even if I were not interested, I would at least return the courtesy of saying, thank you for reaching out. I'm not interested in this time. Maybe some other time I would be. Now I go click, shift, click, delete. And when I'm done talking to you, I'll have at least 10 of those. So I think that's a problem. And we're calling it digital pollution. So that's the premise of this book. That escalated, I think, through the pandemic. And then what it did is I don't have as much a feeling of reciprocity to you because I don't think you're even a real person. So if I don't think you're a human being, only human beings have reciprocity. When you think about it, okay? Human beings feel like I owe you, you did this for me. I might feel like I need to do that for you. That's reciprocity. That's it's a human thing. We don't do that anymore because we're getting so used to these communications. We don't trust that they're actually from another human being. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying now is that it's these large mailing lists, right? That has some famous person or someone's name on it. Yeah. And we don't treat
And that famous person could be a real estate agent listening to this.
Yeah.
It actually could. Okay. You are famous in your area, but we feel like our time is worth a lot of money, and it is. But what is the return on that activity you're doing? What is your expectation so we get this all the time. Well, I sent the email, nothing happened. BombBomb doesn't work. No, that's not the problem. The problem is my message was not centered on the recipient. Okay. So this is a part, and I'm sorry I interrupted you. I'll let you finish that answer.
No, it was great. I mean, when you initially started down that path, I thought you were asking me if I was questioning if it was like a hacker behind the email, which I typically don't assume that. But I hear what you're saying when you ask the question of like, do you actually believe it's the other person sending it? In other words, is it a one-to-one communication? Is it someone that actually sent a message to me, or did I just somehow get on their mailing list?
Or how about even this? I mean, even if it was apparently a mass communication, do you believe someone sat down, created it, and sent it? I mean, right now we're just in this era where everything's automated. We want more automation. We want more scale of our time. Okay. But I think the issue with that is we get far more concerned about us and far less concerned about the recipient. Mm-hmm. And so what human-centered communication is all about really is being more focused on that recipient, on your client, on your potential client, your future client, your existing customer, than you are about you, about your time, your situation, your scalability. Now, all of those things are possible. I just think that we've gone maybe way farther in the other direction. Okay. Let me give you an example of this. So I think this really brings it home. I've been asking this question, so I'll ask it of you. Like, if you were to pick between two businesses, no matter what industry, but we can say they're in real estate, and they're very much the same. They really do offer much of the same service. They offer, and it's for the same price. All of those things are very much the same. Which one do you choose? How do you decide to pick one over the other if they very much deliver the same service that you're looking for and you want to buy?
Yeah, I mean, all other things being equal, it comes down to who's the person involved with this, who's the person that's offering it.
Yep, it's usually the one we like, right? Like, I just feel like I like them more, or it usually comes down to a feel, right? Like a human feeling of this emotion. It's empathy. Trust is built on a transfer of empathy and being vulnerable and these types of things. Like, we also build that off of our interactions with other human beings. So our premise there is that, look, how do you build feeling, or how do you build a know, like, and trust with another person? Usually that's through an interaction like this or in person. You can also do that through other communication vehicles too. So that's, again, getting back to, this is what human-centered communication is all about, how to be more connected with human beings so you stand out. They choose you over the other business, other thing, we have lots of choices to make every day, by the way, right? Like, so why would they choose you? Why would they decide? Yet, you know what? I like them and I'm going to give them my business.
I want to tell a quick story, Darin, that really kind of reinforces what you're talking about, that I actually shared in the kind of the post leading up to this. Is I was in college at the time when my mom's business had scaled up to a point to where she was able to bring home 7 figures. And I don't say that boastfully at all, because she was this same incredible lady, expecting a child at 17 as a junior in high school. So she didn't start off with a silver spoon in her mouth, just the opposite. Came from a very broken home and had every reason in the world to be a statistic on welfare for the rest of her life, right? I mean, that's just kind of the path that it looked like she was headed down from the outside. And she became the most amazing mom ever, married my father, and they were unbelievable parents. And at that moment, when I was in college, when she had reached that level of scale, I was so impressed. And she said, you know what it all comes down to? She said, business and life are always about the people. Mm-hmm. It's always about the people. Now, she didn't enjoy some of the same temptations of automation and leveraging abilities that we have, in today's world. But I think had she built her business in our era, she would have very much agreed with what you're talking about. Is that there's automation can be very powerful in the sense that we can leverage and duplicate ourselves in a lot of different ways in a lot of different places. But if we take the humanity out of any tool and we stop having our message be centered on somebody, a specific person, and our offer is about helping them, then what good is it, right? It's just a matter of time before that offer falls flat and our services fall flat. So yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying, is that we shouldn't shun all the automation, but we should be very selective in how we use it.
I agree. And I'm glad you said it, because that is not my message, that you don't do those things. I think you need to have a good equal of both. And so what we kind of coach on this is that, find the moments that matter, like moments that matter in your business, that when you come present in that moment, it can make a huge difference. That if I was in person here, if I was face to face, I would do it this way. If that's hard to do, and you should find these moments, because what we tend to do is just rely too much on the automation, let it kind of trickle in. Mm-hmm. Find these moments that matter in your business and just dial those in a human way. And that can be with video very easily. I mean, I can think of before the listing presentation, just send a quick video introducing yourself, telling them a little bit about yourself personally, right? Vulnerability creates connection, right? That's how we get there. Who are you? Do you got 3 kids? Are they twins? Yeah, that's me, right? I'm a dad, 2 twin girls. They're 9 years old. They're crazy. My son's 12. These are how we build relationships with humans. Send that quick video before the listing presentation. When you get there, they'll feel a little bit more like they know who you are. Additionally, after the listing presentation, recap some of the main points that they brought up. Recap maybe some of the main points you brought up in a nice video. Let them know that you care. Let them know why they should choose you. Those are 2 very big moments that matter. Right now, if you get a listing opportunity, how are you going to win it? What are the things that you're going to do that just ensure even more so that you may be the one they choose, right? So that's just 2 examples of what I think are moments that matter in real estate, but there's many more, right? Like, follow up with me after I sold my home. Welcome me to the neighborhood. Connect me with other people you might know. You can think of 5 of these. And if you start implementing them very easily, they're not hard, they're simple, but they make a huge impact in how people experience you as a person and as a business.
I oftentimes have people that will say, like, I don't love myself on video. Like I get that that's a powerful tool, but I keep watching it. I'm just not going to send it. One of the things that I tend to call people's bluff on that. I say, look, if you really believe that your face shouldn't be in front of people, you probably would not have chosen a public facing profession like real estate. So I'm going to call you out on that. Like if that's really the way you felt, you'd probably be in some kind of back office where nobody saw you and didn't have to interact with people. The reality is you're putting your face out there every day. And we're just now giving the ability to do that to more people, right, in a more convenient way. And so I think we just have to get over the fact that if that's been an issue of like I like the concept of sending video email, video texts, that like you just have to realize that you've already gotten over that. Like the moment you decided to get into this industry, which is very public facing.
It's easy. I've done it too. It's easy to say like you need to get over it, but I do get it. Like I do empathize that you don't look. The only time we see each other ourselves usually now, unless, we do this video stuff a lot, but is when we're brushing our teeth in the morning. Like we just don't see our faces and we don't hear ourselves. So the way we hear ourselves inside our head is different than how Justin hears me right now. And so when we actually do hear ourselves, our brain's like, wow, everything, it's like a very, evolutionary rejection of all of those things. We don't like these micro expressions that we kind of make that we never see that ourselves that we do. And when we see them, we don't like that. So look, I just want to acknowledge that elephant in the room, that I get that it's painful, but I will say, just like anything else, when you started leaving voicemails, you might not have been good at it. And you thought the same thing. When you started making phone calls and dialing people, that was hard too. But I'd offer that those were hard, but you now would agree that you have to do that to be successful in real estate. If you would just go out on a limb and begin to do this, and again, write down what are just some of the high impact moments that could really make a difference. If I added that to my process and just step a little bit into that, like be vulnerable and do it, and just keep doing that. Like consider like, I'm going to do this for at least 3 months. I'm going to be dedicated to these moments that matter. And when this happens, I'm going to send a video. Okay. If you do that, I think you'll find that the benefit far outweighs your fear, and that the payoff is even greater than how you learned with voicemail and how you learned with phone calling, because you're bringing a human experience to something that no one else. So I still do not get a lot of video emails. I don't. It blows my mind. Look, I get prospected, I get solicited every day. It's like I can count on 2 hands now. Amazing. In 10 years, how many people have sent me a video? Look, if you're prospecting me, if you're listening to this and you want to sell something to my business, you best be sending a video. They don't. You will stand out so much. If you implement this as just a huge differentiator for yourselves, it will grow your business just by saying some simple videos.
You know, I had a conversation with an agent this morning. We were talking actually about geographic farming. And I said, the reason why it typically takes 12 months for people to see a return on their geographic farming mailing efforts is because when people see your stuff hit their mailbox, they don't know you. And so they have no holding place in their brain for you. But if you can find a way to get face-to-face with them or have some sort of interaction with them, now the file's open. Now they can associate everything else you send with a human being, and it's much more meaningful and impactful. So we talked about strategies on doing that. And I think it's on a similar note. I have a good friend. He's owns a big brokerage out of Casper, Wyoming, and he uses the BombBomb platform. And every probably maybe 5th or 6th email, he'll send me a video email. And it's interesting because now he's trained me that every time I look at his, now we've never met in person, but we've become very good friends virtually. And every time I see his emails come on my inbox, they stand out. Not because every one of them has a video, but because he did it enough times, even once I think was enough times for me to pay attention that, hey, this guy communicates differently. I like him. There's a deeper connection. Even though those emails weren't two-way, it was still an opportunity for me to say like, oh, like I just, instead of going wide with people, right, which is what automation teaches us to do, it teaches us to go deep with people, right, to find the right people and go deep with them.
That's right. Dude, I love that. I mean, you're just reminding me, look, folks, we're getting into one of the easiest times in the world to send video. This is usually, you know, we have the National Association of Realtors show coming up. We're always there. And I love speaking there because it's always this time of year. And so it's one of the easiest times to get started with video. And here's why. You get to send gratitude emails to people in your sphere, people who worked with you this past year, because it's Thanksgiving and it's Christmas. Like it's the easiest thing. And listen, if you do this, you will feel better and they will feel better. You will make their day and your day will be made. I promise you, if you sat down from now until Thanksgiving and just said, thank you for your business. I sincerely appreciated this year. It was amazing working with you. I wish you all the best in the years to come. Like if you do that, and I'll take a playbook out of our friends at Buffini. And oh, by the way, if you know anyone looking to buy or sell, please don't hesitate to send them my way. In fact, you can just forward them this email. That works, folks. If you did that activity from now until the end of November, it's the gratitude season. Say thank you for your business to folks you'd worked with in the past. Even if you haven't seen, even if it wasn't this year, if it was last year, trust me on this. They'll be glad to have seen your face, and you will make more money and you will get more business if you do that, what I just told you.
It's such a powerful concept because there's so many agents, I think. Now, some are very comfortable and good at picking up the phone and having those. And more power to you. I think that's super powerful, probably the most powerful way beyond getting like face-to-face with people. But there's a lot of people that sit and look at their phone and they're like, even on gratitude calls, it's like, I'm going to do something else before I do that. And it just gets pushed out. And the reality is, I was going to say on the other end of the line, that person maybe doesn't want to get interrupted either. Like they're at work, they're with family. It's like the phone's coming in. It's like, do I have time to talk to them right now? I don't really want to reject them because
I have no idea maybe what the conversation is going to be about. But that's the cool thing that with asynchronous video, they get to receive the message on their own time. Right. And by the way, you get to create it and deliver it on your own time when you have time to do that. So you can do that in the morning time block, send out your 5 videos, right? And then they get to receive them on their time and feel like, remember we talked about in the beginning, like feel like they just saw you. That is a human thing, is unique to humanity. We need to do that more. And then maybe I do want to refer, oh yeah, I was at the Halloween party last night and I want to make sure they know about her or him as well, right? Like, and my buddy Jared James, another great real estate coach, he has a great line he uses: visibility trumps ability, right? So he uses the idea like who would win against him or Michael Jordan. Well, Jared's not as tall as Michael Jordan, so he's not going to win. But his point is like, look, as a real estate agent, you have to be visible or you're going to get beat. I mean, if you've ever sat there and wondered, why am I not more successful? It's probably because you're not as visible as you could be. So it's these simple tasks of increasing your visibility so that people can trust in your ability, right? Because a less able agent might just be more visible than you. So how are you increasing that visibility? I think this is an easy time of the year, an easy way to do it.
It's a great point. So for those of you out there that, excuse me, already have the BombBomb platform and you haven't used it enough, this is a great little tip for you, right? Take a look at all of your past clients, your sphere, and knock out 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe if you're ambitious, 10 plus videos a day. Seriously, guys, it takes literally 30 seconds, 30 seconds, right? You made it so easy with a Chrome browser extension to be able to grab that, put it into an email. You
can put it anywhere too. So in any browser you're using, any CRM you might be using, the BombBomb works anywhere with the Chrome extension now. So you can insert these easy gratitude message, whatever database you're using, make this a part of your routine, but send just thank you gratitude messages. Then say, oh, by the way, if you know anybody looking to buy or sell, I'd love to talk to them.
Yeah. I wrote the book called The Upstream Model. And the concept of the book is that oftentimes we spend our time on these massive databases, whether it be cold market or warm market, to get some referrals, right? To kind of find the needle in the haystack, the golden egg amongst a whole bunch of non-golden eggs. And I teach the principle that there are certain professionals in the marketplace who just through the course of their day-to-day work are uncovering the fact that their clients are going to need a real estate agent next. And by going deep with the right referral partners, the right upstream partners, you have the ability to spend a little bit of time offering big value to a few people and get referrals. I'm not talking on an annual basis, but on a weekly, monthly basis. So my book really dissects how to do that. And I think sometimes we wonder, what does that communication look like after I've had that first meeting? And I think this tool and platform that we're talking about is a great way to deliver value, right? This isn't just like hey, how you doing? How are the kids? That may be appropriate at some point, but to deliver unique, specific, timely value that they can take something from that and go then give it to their client base to where you become in part of their conversations with their clients. This is another powerful tool for everybody to use that's aspired to want to know, how do I make the Upstream model work for me?
It's great. I love that. Yep. Look, I think, again, working the database, everyone wants to just leverage it, send one email and they just want it to all happen. Sometimes you have to be very specific about the messaging. And I think that's where you get more face-to-face, right? Ideally, you would deliver these messages face-to-face, but we want to scale face-to-face through technology. And that's what we're trying to do at BombBomb in a more human way. Again, bringing that human conversation back to care more about the recipient and what they're trying to accomplish than what you are. Okay. I just got an email actually from my commercial real estate guy today. Let me know about a commercial property that's going for sale in my town, saying, hey, I thought of you. I know how much you love Palmer Lake. Are you interested in this? Or do you know someone that might be? So that's a perfect example. And they had the list of the property and I could easily forward it to other people I knew, or I can action on it.
Yeah, no, in some markets, right, here's another idea kind of extending on that. In some markets, you're allowed to talk about kind of off-market properties. I know some MLS systems have kind of cracked down on that. But again, I think anytime you have unique knowledge that people can't get by going through portals, right? Anytime you have markets coming, properties coming soon or a list of off-market properties, and you have the ability to let people know that, hey, I have a list of people that haven't yet raised their hand to the public that they want to sell. but they do want to sell. If you know of anybody looking to live in these communities, right, or this area, let me know. I'd love to be in contact with them. Like, what a way to have now people start to raise their hand and come at you, right? As opposed to you coming at people. Do you want to sell? Do you want to buy? Do you want to sell? It's like, no, I have unique information over here, and just let me know if you have somebody that you know that you think would be beneficial. Even if they don't know of anybody, you're now branding yourself as different and better, right? You're branding yourself as somebody who really stands out.
That's great. Absolutely great idea.
So I love what you're doing here. Can you kind of talk about where people can get their hands on this new book that's been released, and then anything that you can share as far as getting set up on the BombBomb platform? If you have any kind of tips or best place to go to do that, it'd be interesting for people who are thinking like, I could see how this could work now. I've been watching people use that for years. Didn't think it was for me. I'm over the hump now. I get it. I want to try it out.
Great. So the book's easy. So anywhere you buy books, you can find human-centered communication. So Amazon is probably the easiest place to get it. We just got number 2 in Wall Street Journal last week, so I'm pretty pumped about that. So cool. The book's killing it.
What's the name of it again, Darin? So
human-centered communication.
Human-centered communication. Love it. Do you see it there? Okay, good.
Excuse me. Yeah. Now for BombBomb, it's easy. Just go to bombbomb.com and start a free trial. Just get started. Just start doing it. We give you 14 days. You can check it out. You can try it. You can send some videos. Get used to it, but commit to it. You touched on this too. Like, you expect it so fast. We expect all these things to work just like a magic trick. This is not a magic trick. Like anything else you've ever learned, whether it be direct mail, it takes time to build this, and only really perseverance and dedication to anything, to cold calling, to how do we deliver our listing presentation, to exercise in life. This is like that. You have got to be dedicated to it and try it and be consistent and do it. If you do, you will have the results that you're looking for, as in anything. If you don't, you will not. I can't lose weight if I still just want to eat whatever I want and never work out. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. Usually, now at my age, I have to do literally both, which really, really sucked. But it's the same thing with video. I know it's not what everyone wants to hear, but it's the truth. But we have thousands and thousands of people just like you listening to this that are winning every day doing it.
Yeah, I think all of us that are big thinkers, right, that have big goals, big aspirations, and are relational, right, and don't want to move to a business that's just cold market prospecting and solely transactional, and there's no relationship in it. If that's you, then you're my people, right? Then you're in the right spot. That's very right. Specifically why we had Darin come back again, because his tool helps you to do that. It allows you to be a big thinker, to actually scale a business, use a tool that does that without taking out the most important component, which is the humans, right? Remember what my mom said, is that it's always about the people. Business and life, it's always about the people. Thank you, Darin, for helping to create something that allows us to do that and remember that. Before we wrap up, Darin, I can't forget our closing question, which is the signature question of this show, which is, what does Darin Dawson do to continue to be a big thinker, to continue to expand your possibilities in your world? What does that look like?
It'd be interesting if I answer this question differently than I did before. I don't know. I'm very much a routine person. I always have been. I think that's helped me in my career. But I 100% believe that leaders are readers, right? That you have got to continue to push it. So I'm reading this cool book. It's called The Road Less Stupid. It's a great title, right? That's the one I'm reading right now. But I mean, I think that I'm always part of my routine in the morning. As I get up, I try and work out at least 3 to 4 times a week. I do a lot of prayer in my life. That's where I'm at. And then I spend at least 15 to 20 minutes reading something for the business. And my fun time reading is in history. I love reading history. So those are the things and I'm very routine about that. I'm trying to teach my kids how to do that, because I think that some of that structure leads to just being more successful. And just like with anything, like do your videos, do your reading, do your meditation time. These are important things, I think.
I love it. Consistency wins. When you start mixing in powerful,
it has a force multiplying compound effect over time. I can guarantee you, if you do that, you will have results long term.
Exactly. You start adding in powerful habits like the ones you described, and you do them consistently over time. And really the only way to do that, as you described, is to really have a routine where you don't have to think about it anymore. This
That's
is
right.
just what happens.
This has to be a habit. When you create good habits, bad habits. Like good habits could be things like this. Bad habits are the cookies that are upstairs and all the Halloween candy that's crying out to me from my children.
Yeah.
Will I be a thief of my kids' Halloween candy? Hold me accountable, Justin. I'm going to try not to be.
Funny you said that. Again, my home office, my kids are at school. I just had, I think, 3 pieces of candy just prior to this call. So I got
exactly.
To do,
and you think they'll never notice. They have so much they won't know.
Totally. All those thoughts went through my mind. Darin, always such a great time. Appreciate again you being a big thinker and being a guy who helps us do that in a way that keeps the humans at the center of it all. Appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks,
Justin.
Justin.
Look forward to our next conversation. To everybody listening here today, thank you so much. And my final request is this: it's go think bigger. Darin, thanks for helping us do that today, my friend.
See you, dude.